We're heading over to Grandma and Grandpa Wynn's for Grandpa Wynn's surprise 80th birthday party.
I'm gonna do some shake at the camera like I'm Blair Witch. Oh, now honk!
Are we yelling anything? Or?
Just say surprise.
Here they come. Here they come. Where's Lexus?
Close your eyes. Oh, great.
Who's still
Yeah.
At least some of them are looking at me.
Lorna's doing a good job.
Surprise! Where's more mom?
There's no heart attack. No heart attack. No heart attack. Everybody.
How are you?
Good to see you. That's my.
Hey, Dad. Happy birthday.
That's your other brother. How
Good to see you.
Hey, Grandma.
Oh, good to see you.
I know.
Hey, Dad.
Mom, how are you?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Well, you sure know what?
Love you. How you feeling?
Did you know that?
Hi, Dad.
Can't believe it.
Hello, John.
How are you?
Well, actually, I had an idea.
Mom, it's a dog.
Say hi, Grandpa.
Yeah, well, it's about
Give
to
Grandpa a hug.
That's
Great job.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I can sing the song tonight.
You picked a
Who did?
Your dad.
Lorna did a good job. She pulled it off.
Good job, boy. Thanks.
You know what? I'm only like this tall as you are when I'm on the couch.
How you doing?
What you doing today?
I'm doing good. Good to see
Well,
you.
this is a saggy couch.
Hi,
Hey,
Grandma.
Dad, did you know? Was it a surprise?
Good to see
How
you.
did you make school? You didn't do school break,
You
did you?
didn't, you didn't suspect anything?
Does all my homework with me.
Good for you. Are you want to see Daddy?
Still haven't got my homework.
I tried to call you the other day and I didn't get an answer. I started talking about that probably was it was Sunday.
Well, whatever you have to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're still short. You're still short.
How old are you? I'm taller than Jack.
Are you two?
Taller than Jack.
You're three? You got pretty curls in your hair?
What do you mean?
Was that hard one?
Oh, you did good.
You're surprised?
Yeah.
You promise?
Yeah. Did you drive us?
No, we didn't. Usually the kids were in school, so we didn't want them to miss school. Now he's got the video camera.
Yes.
Video camera's shoulder length.
I want a shoulder length, and she had it. She had it about 2 inches shorter than this one.
Yeah, she's grown since then.
Yeah, they were short, and then the
It's a
texture.
flop, because her hair's a bit for
No, cut off.
I was so excited.
No way I will get there. So Sammy looks, I mean, Bryn looks sort of packed in just a year. Both, yeah. I mean, well, they're teenagers. There's no more little boy or girl. Because when you were there in July, she's just moving. Look at this one too. She don't appreciate, no, she won't appreciate this years from now.
What are we talking about?
Puberty, so I really don't think.
I'm gonna go over here.
We won't say her
Oh, come on, rip the
There's
ball.
more presents
Go
for
for
you.
it.
Oh, I so happy. How about just lighting it off?
Is it off?
Pretty ribbon.
Well, hi.
Got it? All right. Let it right.
You okay?
I got a chair. I got a chair.
You're doing good.
I have a friend that plays
Yeah.
violin.
You wanted to do
Don't forget to head for the camera, please.
Help me.
Maybe you can bring it.
Hi, Olivia.
I see.
Oh, yeah. 7.
Oh my goodness.
Dad's got a thing for binders too. I don't know
Here,
that.
turn it around for a minute, let me take a picture. Bar.
That's for sure.
Bar.
Dad, turn it around so everybody can
Sit
see
down
the
so we can get a picture of you with that, okay? There we go.
Get mom in there with her.
I'm just gonna.
Now I have to get closer.
Okay, now can you
Shelly.
Get three.
Hi.
Excellent.
Can I? I thought he could buy
Dinner time.
You know,
How you doing, Mom? Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I hope you were surprised.
We were very surprised.
Good.
Very surprised.
and telling him what we learned about in Sunday school that day, because this was before primary was on Sundays. That's what I remember, and Dad would always ask me what my lesson was about and what I did in Sunday school.
And random.
And that's what I remember. Okay. And I actually looked forward to that every Sunday. You would. I did.
Did you get that on tape? Those sibling rivalry.
She was always a goody-goody.
And jump.
Okay, David.
I don't really have many memories.
Oh, you only have a few years.
Yeah, I only have a few more. One that we were just talking about earlier, and I'll just kill two birds with one stone, was at Christmas. They spent Christmas Day with us, and so we were, all the presents were at our house, well, or at least the list of presents, whatever. Some of the things, we didn't have the freezer at our place, but one of the things that we did wrap up was a newspaper for the subscription for the Deseret News. And after all the presents were opened, the thing that Mom and Dad thought was the most interesting was the week-old newspapers. We have a picture of them sitting there on the couch reading the newspaper while the rest of us are enjoying all of the new toys. So I have.
That's a good one. Okay, Zach, what did you have, a one or a two?
Yeah, what about Dad?
Sorry.
Oh, he's the cameraman.
Here, I'll give it.
Yeah, you have to take Dad. Come on, take Dad.
I was trying to think of which one. We had one. We gardened a whole bunch of weeds this year.
And weed harvest, huh?
Actually,
All
not
right.
too bad
still
this
have that
year,
on?
but some years in the past,
Okay.
not all we get.
Yes, he's very good. Very good. He made my compost barrel.
Wow. You're going to work this spring.
How are the tomatoes, maybe?
They were big.
Okay, Holly. They weren't supposed to be.
I like when Grandma spent Christmas with us. Her present for us was slippers.
Slippers.
I think we've all got a pair. They're nice.
Yeah, we got hats,
Yeah.
scarves,
Uh-huh.
bears. Hey, I got.
Okay, Hillary. And I just remember that I was so excited because they were going to be there when we went to girls' camp, and so Grandma said that while we were there that I could come and I could take a 5-minute shower at her house instead of a 3-minute shower in the bathroom. But
In
then,
the cold
like,
water, right?
yeah, then like a month before girls' camp, they moved.
Oh, man.
I was stuck in the shower. Yeah.
And so
Bummer.
you got only a 3-minute shower?
No, we took longer, but
And tell us what the new caretakers at were like.
they were mean.
Oh.
They didn't let us leave on time because they said it wasn't clean, but it was. And Grandma and Grandpa would have done that.
No, they would. Okay, Miss Shaylee. Oh, I knew you were there. Okay, Miss Shaylee.
When Grandma and Grandpa came back from their mission.
No, we can go again.
All right. So Grandma, I've got a lot of memories of Grandma. One memory that I have was when we were smaller and we were sitting around the kitchen table one morning, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't remember what she got mad at, but she took a shoe and she threw it through the window. Our back door had window panes on it, and she threw the shoe through the window.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Oh my gosh.
I haven't heard that story.
Wow.
What was I mad at?
I can't remember.
Must have been some pretty bad boys to make you do that, huh?
Oh, come on, confess, Diane.
What did Carol do?
What were you mad at?
Actually, I very vaguely remember the broken window.
I don't think you intentionally threw it through the window. You were.
No, she
She just kind of threw it behind her and it went
Oh, I
through the
thought maybe
window.
you were aiming at one of the kids.
Well, she may have been doing that.
So my back was against the door, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you boys do?
No, I don't
I think it was
remember the boys, I
Jay.
think it was the girls.
Yeah.
That we've all received over the years.
Yeah.
We were the training ground for knitting.
Crocheting.
Crocheting, sorry.
Yeah.
And I remember, but slippers was actually a lot of fun because we would run and slide on the hardwood floor in the playroom. But but probably the biggest memory that I have of Mom is that I know I gave her plenty of reason to do this, and I know she probably did at times, but I really cannot think of a time that I remember my mom ever yelling at me. I know she got angry and I know I got in trouble, but I don't remember ever being screamed at. I don't remember her ever spanking me. I don't remember anything. I just have happy memories of a very kind mom.
All right. Each other. When he'd come over to eat, he'd always ask me if we were going to have sauerkraut. He liked to tell me we were going to have some sauerkraut for dinner. And I can remember he and Todd out building a rabbit hutch for our rabbit. It was the nicest rabbit hutch that we had the best housed rabbit in all the neighborhood. And I also remember him building a doll cradle for Megan when she was little. For her dolls, and we appreciated his handicraft skills and they. Am I taking all yours? And a tool bench that he and Todd built together. It was always a lot of fun to see them work together and build something together. And I also like to tease him about Price being a rough and tumble town. That always got him angry. I always talked about how Price was kind of a rough town. Right? No. He says not.
It was a big city compared to Sunnyside.
Yeah.
And help
So.
And Helper,
Meg?
Well, one thing I remember is when they lived in Houston, I always loved going over to their house. It was just, we didn't get to do it, as often as I would have wanted, but it was really fun. It was always fun to go over there because we were always so welcome, and we would play, and Grandpa would play with us. And I remember Grandma was always crocheting, and she got me interested in crocheting, and I always wish I had more time to crochet, but I think it's a really, really neat thing, and that's one of my biggest memories of both of you guys.
I picked it too also, and Mom, you might correct me, but Jay, you may not remember Mom spanking you, but I think I remember you spanking me one time, Mom, only once that I can remember, and it's because a bunch of boys were going to walk down to the end of the street to the to the little U-Totem store, and you said I could go with them if I had a promise not to stop at that ditch that was down there. You remember the ditch? And sure enough, all those older boys, I think you might have been there, Jay, and John maybe.
Me for it.
And they stopped at the ditch, and I stopped at the ditch too, and somebody.
Todd told.
Huh?
Todd went home and told. Sorry, Mom, I stopped in the ditch.
No. I don't think I would have told, but I had to tell because somebody pushed me in the ditch, and I got all wet. Do you remember that, Jay?
I do. But I didn't push you.
No, I don't think you pushed me, but somebody
I
pushed me.
would never do that.
Anyway, you were very angry with me, and I deserved it, but do you remember that, Mom?
Well, I remember the ditch plenty of times, but I don't remember spanking you.
Well, maybe that's just a memory I have that's not right, but I do. The memory I did want to tell about, though, is when I was in elementary school, we lived just three houses away from the school, so we would walk to school every day, and so a lot of times one of my favorite things to do was to come home for lunch. And you're always there. You always made me a lunch, and I remember having soup and I don't know, just meant a lot to me. And then coming home after school, the first thing I'd do is come say hi to you, and I'd be happy to see you, and then I'd run and jump on my bed. I remember I had that little routine. I'd jump on my bed for a few minutes, and then my day was right. It was good if I went through that routine and saw you there. So that's a happy memory I have of you, Mom.
Right?
Okay, when Grandma would come visit us when she was going to Texas, she always had the little caramels in her purse, and she would always let us just go digging for them. She always found little places to hide them so we couldn't find them.
I remember going to a baseball game with Grandma and Grandpa. It was just pretty fun to get a baseball game.
Yeah, we went to a lot of games with them, didn't we?
It's too bad you were going to see the Astros. That's another story.
Okay, Summer, come here. What do you like to do with Grandma and Grandpa?
Oh, yeah, Summer.
Summer is always over.
Summer has a little thing that she does with Grandpa.
She loves to go, she visits Grandma and Grandpa several times a day, and loves to go watch cartoons with them.
Grandma's her cartoon buddy?
That's our tradition.
Well, what do you do with Grandpa, Summer? Do you remember?
Tell them. I already know.
Critty wants to know. Tell Critty. No, stay there.
She will go and she tries to take Grandpa's socks off and hides them.
Oh.
I haven't found the
She likes to take Grandpa's socks and hide them.
Off of his feet. And hide him.
While he's napping?
And then she'll look at me and say, don't tell him where I hid him. Okay, I have a couple memories.
Wait.
This is a memory I have of you, Dad. I remember when Carol and I were younger, and the boys would go to Mutual or MIA, whatever they called it, and Mom would go to Relief Society.
Is this okay if I play with this?
And you would drive them there, and me and Carol would go, and we'd always beg you to stop at Baskin Robbins. And every once in a while, you'd stop at Baskin Robbins and let me and Carol get an ice cream cone. You remember that? So we'd sit in the very back. Oh, is he gonna stop? Is he gonna stop? Is he gonna stop? And sometimes you did, and sometimes you didn't.
Twice a year.
Probably less than that.
But there was always a
Enough to
chance.
keep us going.
There was always a chance.
There was that hope that just kept us going every week. Okay, well, I have some more memories I was just thinking of. I remember one time when I was in kindergarten, there was this girl in one of the other kindergarten classes named Lucinda, and evidently she was a bad influence because she was always in trouble. But she was my friend for a few weeks, and she said that she invited me to come home with her after school one day, and so I think I talked to Mom about it, and she said, oh yeah, whatever, and didn't really say yes or no. So the next day, Lucinda and I decided that I would go home from school with her. And I remember we told the crossing guard, and the crossing guard said something about, oh, well, I hope your mom knows. And I'm like, oh, well, I told her yesterday. And so I went home with Lucinda, and she lived in the apartments. I think it was Ravenwood.
The apartments.
Yeah, the apartments, yeah. And, well, I don't know which one. I think it was Ravenwood, but some of those apartments over there. And that was, before Spinwick was already all the way finished, so it was just through the woods. Or the trails, what do we call them?
Yeah, we call them the trails.
And I had no idea how to get there or how to get home.
You were in kindergarten?
Yeah.
Kindergarten walked that far?
Yeah. And
This was the 70s.
yeah. And so Mom didn't know where I was. I didn't know how to get home. I didn't know, and I don't really remember what we did, but her dad was there and he was asleep or something. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, this is so weird. I just have to get out of here, but I didn't know how to get home. And finally, he took me home, and I was able to tell him how to get home. And I remember we drove down our street, and I saw Mom just walking down the street, and she was just looking, and she just looked so sad. And I got in big trouble. But yeah, I still remember that, and I think, oh my gosh, if one of my kids never came home one day, how that must have felt for her. And anyway.
And now you'd like to apologize.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Formally.
I remember that. Yeah, and then my other memory was, I had another one, I can't remember what it is now. Okay, well anyway, there's another one. It's when they came back from their mission, Mom and Dad. Isaac was, we were just talking about, he was 5 months old.
Yes,
He didn't like anyone but me. But when Mom and Dad came in, he went immediately to both Mom and to Dad. And they were the first people besides David and me that Isaac would go to willingly. And he smiled even. He liked Mom and Dad from the very first day. And so that was special. He still loves them.
One couple with Dad. I remember as a little boy, Dad coming home from work late in the afternoon, early evening, would be pretty dirty from having worked hard as a welder all day, and he'd come home in his big work boots, which were always fascinating to me as a little boy, but anyway, that's another story. He would come home in his big work boots, and yet he would, before he'd go in the house, get cleaned up, and he'd be hungry and tired, he would play catch with me out in the front yard. And I remember playing catch with him in his big work boots, throwing a ball to a little kid who couldn't catch worth a lick, and yet he was patient and would do that with me. And I remember that, and I tried to be that way with my kids, and I'm not sure that I've been as successful at it as he had, but
Can they catch and you still can't?
they can catch, I can't, but yeah, so I don't know. They learned that from their mother, though. But my other memory of Dad is I was his home teaching companion for much of my growing up years, and I hated to go home teaching with him because he was a 70, and so that meant that he was always home teaching part member or less active families. That was difficult for a teenager to go see because I knew they didn't want us to be there in the first place, and the philosophy was if they didn't want us, then why would we bother? And I didn't like going, but I always came back from that with a good feeling, knowing that we had done what we should have done. And I'm not sure that there were any people that were converted through all those years, but I know that they benefited from us being there. And then lastly, regarding their mission, probably one of the highlights for me, and one of the times that I was the most proud of them was when they made the video that our state presidency had asked them to make for a state conference, and they showed that video at the state conference, and I just remember watching that with a lot of pride of them, and it was remarkable to me that up until we moved from that state last year, people still came up to me, I mean, how many years has it been now, and talked about that video and how it meant a lot to them and had an impact on them, and that was a pretty
We always played Little League sports, football and baseball, and I remember sometimes, I think one year I was a pitcher and I played catcher, and sometimes I remember one year in particular I played on a team that was pretty good. They had a lot of good players, and I always felt like I wasn't quite good enough to be on that team, and sometimes I'd come home from the games feeling like I didn't play very well, and I appreciated you always coming into my room afterwards and giving me pointers about how to do things a little bit better, and just giving me encouragement that I was doing a good job, even though I felt like I had a bad game and I felt bad and everything. And I always appreciated that. And sometimes I think you might have thought I didn't want to talk to you about it, or I thought I just wanted to be left alone, but I did appreciate you being supportive and teaching me and giving me encouragement. And the other thing I want to tell about was, remember that year in between my high school year and going to college, I worked with you over at Cast Stone Brick. I always enjoyed working with you that year. I got to know you a lot better that summer, going to work with you every single day. I didn't like getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was that you'd come wake me up every day, and I'd go to work with you. But I saw how hard you work, and I saw how much people respected you there at work. They valued your opinion. That I think that plant would have shut down without you there. And the other good memory I have about that is every day after work, we'd stop at the store and we'd always get a cold soda and an ice cream sandwich, one of those big ice cream sandwiches. That was something to look forward to every day after work. So anyway, that was a good memory.
Every once in a while.
I went to work with you and I never got an ice cream sandwich.
Uh-oh.
You're in trouble.
Well,
You didn't work as hard as I did.
Jay, you had to be working with him. Not just
Sure,
going.
and he wouldn't let me work with him either. He'd make me go do something else.
Did you work at Castone too?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't a happy memory. That's okay. But you know, that reminds me, talking about sports and stuff. Of my entire family, this is probably true. I'm probably the least athletic. And I remember Dad always being patient with me, even though I couldn't catch and I wasn't a very good hitter. And I was the kind of outfielder that would be picking the daisies rather than paying attention to the game. And having been a good athlete himself, I'm sure that probably drove him crazy. And he probably wanted to, I don't know what he wanted to do, but he never did speak down to me. And he always gave me just as much attention as he did to Todd or John or Lorna or Carol or anybody else when it came to that.
You were a better baseball player than I was.
No, oh please, no.
I was not a good player.
No, but
You hurt my feelings.
could have been.
And I didn't want to force you. I didn't
Well-
want to make you.
No, I never felt like I was forced to. But
I remember when you broke your nose.
I remember that too.
We're playing football.
I remember that too. Now I was going to say something else, but now I forgot.
Okay,
Look
when
up
you
to
think
me.
about it, I have a couple. Talking about Dad and work, I mean, I remember him getting up really early and going to work, and one of my earliest memories of being home, so it was before I went to school, and he'd always call at lunchtime. Every lunchtime, he'd call home to check on Mom, and I remember if the phone rang at lunchtime, I'd try to go answer it so I could talk to Dad, because he always knew he'd call, and that just really, that's a good memory. That he'd just call and just check to see how
Yeah,
everybody was.
I remember that. Every day Dad would call at lunchtime.
And just check. Talk to Mom for a minute.
I remember when Dad came home from work with you dropped some piece of steel on your toe or something, and you came home in the middle of the day and took your boot off, and it was a big bloody mess in there. Do y'all remember that?
That happened all the time. This happened, I remember that happening several times. Or getting, what do you call that, where your eyes would get messed up by the welding?
Blind.
Flash burns, or whatever they call it.
That was read a lot.
Yeah. I remember too, Dad, I had the bad luck of having wrecked 2 of your cars.
That's where Devin gets it from.
Both in unison, that was great.
And I remember the first wreck, I don't think was my fault. But the second one was my fault. That was they were both my fault, but the second one was really bad as far as my.
What happened in each?
Well.
I'll tell you on a date.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story because this is kind of funny. I was now this is really nice because for whatever reason we only had one car. Well, I knew why we only had one car, but we had one car. And when I was 16 or 17, I don't remember, he would let me take him to work, or he'd get a ride with somebody to work, so that I could drive the car to school, and then go to a job that I had, and then I'd drive to pick him up afterwards, which was very kind because I sure never let my kids do that. But that's anyway. Just kidding. So one day I came home from work and I fell asleep, and I woke up realizing, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late to pick up Dad. He's mad. He'll be mad. So I remember running outside, hopping in the car, and all I had on was a pair of shorts. I didn't have a shirt on. I didn't have shoes on. And I hop in the car and I take off, and I'm half asleep. I'm all groggy. And I'm trying to get focused. And it's rush hour traffic, and I come to a light, and I need to turn left, and I'm behind this big 18-wheeler, and this 18-wheeler is sitting there waiting to turn, and then all of a sudden it starts to slowly turn out, and I'm in a hurry and not thinking, and I just follow the truck right out into traffic, and I get T-boned, and it hits the back of the station wagon, spins me around. The back side of the station wagon is just mangled. The glass is all busted out. And I was okay, and nobody in the truck was hurt. We exchanged some information, and I'm thinking Dad's going to kill me. And so I finally am able to get the rest of the way there. By this time, everybody at Castone's gone, and he's standing there at the office door, and he's just looking like he's just madder than a hornet because I'm late. And I'm thinking he's going to kill me. I don't want him to see the car yet. And so I parked, I don't remember how far, but I parked a ways.
Up 2 miles.
I've been waiting for you for.
And I remember he's looking at me like, what are you doing? And I get out of the car and I start walking towards him thinking, Dad. And he's like, get over here. Like, get in the car and get over here. What are you doing? And I get over there and I must have probably been crying. And I'm like, I wrecked the car. And I remember him not saying anything to me. He walks over to the car and he just looks at it. And this isn't funny. And then we get in the car and we go home, and I don't remember much, but I don't remember him ever screaming at me, or he never smacked me or anything.
Todd's got a better car wreck story than that
Yes,
one,
he
though.
does.
Well, I was going to say, Jay, at least you can say you've never been hit by a train.
But the thing
I'm
that I
probably the only one
remember,
that can
the thing
say
that I
that.
learned, a great lesson, this shows where Mom taught me something there too, is one that for several weeks, I just didn't feel like my relationship with Dad was really good. And I couldn't figure it out, and I was griping to Mom about it one day. He never talks to me, or he's always, it's just not right. And then I remember Mom saying to me something, and I've remembered all these years. She says, have you ever thought that maybe your dad wanted you to say you were sorry about wrecking his car? And then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, I don't think I ever did. I don't think that I ever apologized for wrecking the car. And I think I did. At that point, I hope I did. But I just remember that lesson. But I also remember that he was, although he's not happy with me at all, he handled it very well. Probably better than I did with Devin. But Todd definitely has a better wreck story.
Well, I don't. We'll tell it on my 80th birthday.
Everybody knows this story.
Yeah, everybody knows the story.
Well, you have to say, you play that game where you have to say something that happens you know you didn't believe.
I used that once in a game like that.
So,
Yeah, the worst part of it was I think afterwards the trooper, I think Todd still gets upset, telling him how he could have, well, you guys were on the other side of the train.
Yeah.
He didn't know if you got out or not.
Right.
So for a few seconds he thought it was possible that you guys had died, and then the trooper telling him, yelling at him, telling him he could have killed everyone in his family, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I still don't understand how
You
that.
got hit by a
He
train?
says he doesn't know.
All right, you want me to tell the
Yeah, tell the story.
Well, maybe we should let Dad. Do you remember the train wreck story, Dad? Remember that time we got hit by the train?
Hit the truck?
Tell me about
Well, you tell us about it.
Dad, don't.
It's your story.
Bad habit.
All right, Dad bought a brand new truck.
Wasn't
Well,
brand new.
it was a used truck, but it was a new truck.
New used truck.
it.
Yeah. The first day we had it, it was a standard transmission, a gear shift, a ship
Thank you.
car, standard. Yeah. And I really didn't know how to drive it, but I didn't want to tell you I didn't know how to drive it, and you were going to let me drive it. And I think we were going
I'm going to the church. Take
to
Sean
the
to basketball match.
church, and I didn't really know how to drive it very well. But I was trying, and we were jerking along, and then Lorna and Carol were riding in the back of the truck, and anyway, we come to a railroad crossing, and it's up on this little hill. The tracks are on the top of the hill.
Two lane.
Yeah, it's a 2-lane road, and it didn't have a railroad arm that went down. It was just a flashing light.
Got it now, though.
And
Yeah.
it's got it now. You're right. Shortly after this, they put one there. Anyway, the train was coming. I heard it blowing his whistle, but I thought, it was pretty far away. I thought I could get it over the track. And so I got the car up right on top of the track, and then I think my foot slipped off the clutch and it died. And that train was coming pretty fast, and I tried to start it, and I couldn't get it to start. I was trying to start it, and I think I was panicking, and
You probably flooded it.
maybe, but I just couldn't start it. And the train was blaring its whistle, bearing down on us, and finally Dad said, "Get out of the car, everybody out of the car." And we all jumped out, the girls jumped out of the back
One
and
side.
Because I sat up to eat Lorna Doone cookies. We were laying down. We were laying down on the back of the truck. Had no clue what was going on. She sat up eating the cookies.
so Dad and I start trying to push the truck out of the way, and I jumped back right before it impacted, but you kept pushing, and that train smacked right in the side of the truck while Dad was still pushing it, and you went flying, and
Not me, woo,
and the
on
train
other side of the drive.
totaled the truck out, and it was pretty scary, and
Yeah,
we're fortunate you weren't hurt worse than you were.
Todd and I were dating at the time, and I was up at BYU, and he called me, just shaken, and the first thing he says to me is, "I've almost killed my whole family tonight." And I'm like, "In a fit of rage?" I'm thinking a lot of things at that point. Wow, do I really want to date this guy? You know?
Well, I tell you, the state trooper that stopped
Yes,
by,
he
just let me have it.
He
I
did.
mean, he just said, you know, you almost killed your family. Do you know what you did? What's wrong with you?
When you asked me to let you drive, I really didn't want to let you.
I know.
Oh, now you tell us.
So Dad, are you gonna let me drive if I get in a wreck like that?
I said, well, okay.
I know. I shouldn't have been driving the truck. I hadn't been trained very well to drive a standard
You know what,
truck.
John, when he tells that story, he was sitting in the middle, and you see your dad's trying to push it, and you're trying to push it, like, I couldn't get out. Let me out, let me out.
I forgot about that.
John was with us.
Yeah.
The train was coming.
Was Uncle Jay there?
You guys were on one side of the tracks, right? And Carol and Lon?
I remember spending a lot of time with you, Dad. I remember spending a lot of time with you, playing baseball and going to all the sporting events and mowing lawns and all that stuff. Well, you know what,
It's never
Dad? I try to spend a lot of time with my kids, and I always feel like it's not enough.
He always thinks he's not, but he does more than any
I
dad
think
that.
probably every parent wishes they could spend more time with their kids, but you should know, I think all of us think you and Mom spent a lot of time with us, and we love you, and we appreciate all that you did for us.
Well, I remember one year, is at Christmas time. Well, each year at Christmas time, we'd always hide our Christmas presents under the bed. But you kids never did, I didn't worry about it because you never did go snooping. One year, see, they had a big long track with a you can make the long track for the little cars, go-karts or whatever. And one day it went under the bed, and like everything else, there was Christmas presents under there. Jason said, "So I'll go get it," and he went to get it. Then he came back at me, and his eyes bigger than saucers, no cards in his hand. "What's this under my bed? Under your bed?"
Do you remember that? You do.
I don't remember that. I guess I wasn't there.
And Jay was getting to the age where he was beginning to question.
Yeah, I remember this.
Okay, that reminds me, actually. I remember when we got the pool table, and I remember Mom, I don't know if I do this, because money was always really tight. And, Mom babysat, and that was kind of, her money to do what she wanted, which she just spent on this, but she would buy those baseball cards for you guys, because you'd have pool tournaments. Do you remember this? Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
And she'd buy baseball cards, and all your friends would come over, and you have pool tournaments, and, baseball cards, they're not that cheap. I mean, they add up. Anyway, and she'd always buy those. And the other thing I remember, and I think Carol does too, is Mom and I and Carol would walk to Kmart. That was like our entertainment. And we'd walk to Kmart, and we'd always get a grilled cheese sandwich. And Dr. Pepper. At the little snack bar. And
French fries.
And French fries. Yeah.
Didn't she buy you those, you were collecting those NFL
Oh,
drinks?
Oh, yeah, those lids.
And it wasn't something she normally would buy because you were collecting those lids?
Those Gatorade bottles that have all the NFL lids on it,
You
the
have a
helmets.
little container that you stuck them in?
Oh yeah, I sent off for that thing. I know we didn't normally buy Gatorade, but you always bought Gatorade if you saw there was a team helmet on the bottle that I was still missing. I was trying to collect, so that was always nice of you, Mom.
Well, it was
I got all of them.
Did you get them all?
Yeah. And then I used to invent games and play with them.
I used to like to watch Todd play with, we had blocks and army soldiers and cowboys in the playroom. He would make barns and houses and
The cowboy Slim.
Slim and Jess.
Slim and Jess.
Grandma, you like it when you make us stuff? You crochet us stuff?
Oh, that was most fun. In fact, I'm working on something now that I think you'd like. I'm not gonna say, because it's not Christmas time or your birthday's coming up.
That's a good try.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, I think one of the greatest things that Mom and Dad have done, though, besides what they've done for us, will be reminded to us tomorrow when Tom and Steve come.
Was Steve coming too?
Oh, apparently. So you think about that for a minute, and I realize that Tom and Steve were John's friends, but think about the fact that they came to our house to be watched for a little bit after school, and you started. The deal was, well, they can come if they got to go to primary, and Sister Eckhart said, fine, you know, and then look where it is today. I mean, you've got. It's just a miracle if you think about it. I mean,
And
Steve,
where it will be in
for
20
generations,
years or
yeah,
100
exactly.
years. Yeah.
And the impact that Steve had in Brazil. To think about the impact that both of them are having down their own families, and you know, Steve, Tom is the bishop and the student board, the impact he's having on those kids up there at school, and it's amazing. I think that's a pretty good
Well, that family was an easy family to convert. They was ready.
You know, I was thinking about this a couple of months ago as well.
And how she remarried, and they have just recently gone to the temple.
Really?
And they were still, Ruth and her husband, I can't pronounce his name, Rio.
Where do they live now?
Garcia.
They live in East Texas.
Do they still live in Texas? But they went to the temple. I didn't know he was a member. When did he join the church?
He joined the church when we were still living there, but he wouldn't come all the time. He just seemed antagonistic, and like he did it because his wife wanted to. He just wasn't ready or whatever. And then we moved, and they moved first, and then we moved, and then they must have had some good home teachers, or else the Spirit was working with him to where he wanted to come back on his own.
I had a feeling he was gonna leave the church,
He didn't though.
he didn't, but I was worried.
Well, so you think about that legacy that family has now.
In fact, you know, Tom, when he was here a couple months ago, he said every Sunday morning when I have to get up at 6 o'clock, I'm thinking about Brother or Sister Wynn. It's their fault that I have to wake up so early.
It's your fault. I asked him, how do you like being bishop? He said, well, it's your fault that I'm a bishop. But he's enjoying it from what he said. Now, I'm glad to hear that Steve won re-election in the legislature.
Well, he was unopposed.
Oh, sure.
Both times.
You had to bring
No,
that up,
really.
huh?
Well, that's not a bad thing, though.
Now, what did he do?
They're afraid to run against him.
Well, I guess he won the Republican nomination, so that's.
So what did he do, you say?
He was unopposed.
He didn't
Nobody
have
ran
to
against
Oh,
him.
no one ran against him. I don't know about the first time, because we wasn't here then.
It was the same then, too.
Oh.
But, well, I mean, he did win within his own party.
Well, I said my son was at your wedding.
Donna,
Oh, yeah.
and then we moved to Seattle, Washington. Well, anyway, to make it short, we were real good friends. And she wasn't a member of the church. And just, how long ago? About a year ago, I called her on the phone. Oh, Donna, I said, you know.
It's about February or March.
I said, you know, we've been good friends. We work together in the library and we enjoy it and we like to do it. I said, I wish we could be together and do some more of it. And I said, Donna, you know what? She said, what? I said, when all that time we was in the library, you seem to know a lot about morning you knew a lot about to believe and all that. You know what? He said, what? I think you ought to get baptized in the Mormon church. I said, I feel like you are already a Mormon, but you need to be baptized. I said, I wish you would. Oh, do you? I said, yes. He said, I will. Well, anyway, we talked some more and then it hung up and, about a month, how long?
Oh, it was about 2 or 3 days later.
2 days later, she said, she called.
Actually, oh, sorry. But I was gonna say 2 or 3 days later, she sent us a letter.
Said she's taking license.
She sent a letter with her baptismal program in the letter.
That's nice.
And she got baptized. And then a little while later, we got, it was on the phone.
It was the phone. Later it was the phone.
On the phone, she was feeling bad. Her family, her daughter, and she was living with, kicked her out of the house. She was living with them. Her son-in-law and her daughter. And she had to find a place to live. Because she joined the Mormon church. And she said her son living in Alabama heard about it. He got mad at her.
Oh, he was mad.
And he told him he kind of disowned her. He told her, he said, I'm going to find where the Mormon church is and talk to them and prove to them that they're wrong and you're going to hear the hair was long like that. They wanted me to go get a haircut and I didn't want it.
Hippie?
How old were you? About
Around 4 or 5, something like that. I didn't want it. They dressed me up and dragged me. They were going to get your hair cut and then get a picture taken. So they dragged me up to the Bible. I fought with them. I kicked them all in the leg and hit them and fought with them. The barber helped me. They picked me up, took me in the shower. Mom held my arm together. My aunt held both of my feet so I couldn't kick. I couldn't move. The barber pulled my hair and cut it, you know. And then when I got through the haircut, I was going to go get a picture taken. I fought again. They gave me that $70 if I'd get my picture taken. That's what I did. I got it taken, went home, and Mom was busy in the kitchen. They turned she heard something on the floor. I threw the scissor in there, big old scissor through it. Mom heard it and looked at it and went into where I was. And she said my hair was all a mess. I just trimmed it right close down all over my hair, real close, all over. Ruined my haircut.
Well, how many of us ever remember a time when Mom left?
He was out of the way for Carol.
Oh, I said it's time to get our picture taken.
Maybe go on the other corner.
Look at Mommy. Look
Oh,
at
that
Mommy.
looks good.
There you go.
Oh, this is good, you guys.
Hey, everybody go over here.
Here we go.
Charlie, smile. Straight down.
That's right, Kay.
Let's take a couple more. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, smile. 3. Good job, guys. You guys.
Should we do kids and
We're just
mom and
missing.
dad?
Yeah.
We're gonna see my sweat back.
Just your family.
Oh,
Your, you know. John, you're part of it.
No, I think spouses too.
John, no.
We'll do some with
You just, just with you 5 kids is a nice picture, yeah. And I'm making this go everywhere.
Hey, how about the two sisters sit side by side? There we go. And the brother.
Todd needs to be in the middle.
There we go.
Todd needs to be in the middle, Jay. Jay, you and Todd. It's not, there you go.
It should be right
Their ears.
There you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Come on, Var, you can smile bigger than that.
1, 2.
Come on.
Tickle him. Okay, let me get a roll. There we go. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Good.
That was nice. Okay, now let's have our spouses down. That's
Oh, sorry, gotta go.
Mom.
Oh, did I didn't. It got caught in my button, honey.
Here, spouses can be just kind of like.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't get them ideas anymore.
Okay. You ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1,
Isaac.
Thanks.
Michelle, thanks for, taking care of me. Yeah, I mean, you said you were in there.
Ready? 1, 2. Oh, there we go. I have a picture here. 1, 2, 3. Let me do kind of a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3. So nice. I can't believe this. It's going to take my family an hour and a half to do all that. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, go back on the couch.
Isaac.
No.
Isaac, come here. I don't know where you put the roll that you just took out.
Stuck it inside the side.
See you in a minute. Go ahead. Do it again.
Smile, Grandpa.
Okay.
That's a hard job.
It's okay to enjoy it.
Oh, goodness.
Many of you traveled a long way. Probably gave up a lot of things to do tonight to be here. And we appreciate it a lot. We just wanted to take a few minutes and have a little impromptu program for my parents. And for those of you who might not know me, my name is Jay. I'm their oldest son. And the rest of their kids, Todd, John, Lauren, and Carol are here too, and they're all going to be at the table. We've got my mom up here too. And the thought struck me when we were driving up here down here from Seattle. I was reminded of a little history in the Book of Mormon. In Helaman, there was 2 brothers. One name was Nephi and one's name was Lehi. And Nephi was the prophet at the time, and Lehi was his faithful sidekick. And I remember a scripture there that talks about Lehi being just as righteous as his brother Nephi. And the thought struck me as I thought about my mom and dad, and so it wouldn't be fair to have just my dad up here. I think my mom deserves to be here as well, because if ever there was a marriage made in heaven, I think theirs would have to be it. I think my mom needed my dad, and my dad needed my mom tremendously, and so that's why we're going to embarrass her up here as well a little bit tonight. What all 5 of us are going to do, we're just going to take a quick minute and share a couple of memories that we have with my mom and dad as kids growing up. And then, as I said, I've got something else that we'll do after that. And so I'll start, and we'll go through the rest of us kids. And for those of you who were at Lauren's house last night, some of this will be repeated, so you'll have to hear it twice, I suppose. But one of my earliest recollections of well, not my earliest recollection, but one of my most favorite memories of my father was as a boy being eager for him to come home from work. And he would come home from work really dirty and tired. He'd get up early in the morning, come home late in the evening, and yet he always found time to play catch-up with me out in the front yard. And that meant a lot to me then, but it means even more to me now, as I'm a father of my own and of children, and it makes me appreciate the sacrifices that he was willing to make for me. And I know know it impacted me greatly. And a memory that I have from my mom that I shared last night as well was that I'm sure there are a few thoughts about my mom and dad to honor my dad on his 80th birthday. It was so nice to see all of you here to share this night with them. We live down in Houston, Texas, so we don't get up here very often, as I'd like. And so it's sure nice to get up here and see all of you. And I want you to know that we love all of you very much. There's so many things I could say about my dad. He's a wonderful man and a wonderful father. Sorry. I've got a lot of good memories of him. I learned a lot of things from my dad. One of the things I remember early on from my father is he taught me how to work hard. When we were little, we got jobs really young. We got paper routes when we were 9 or 10 years old, and we went to deliver papers every day, and we earned money and saved our money, and were able to buy a lot of our own things. And we had a lot of jobs, mowing lawns and things. I remember when I was 13, summer after 8th grade, my dad lined up a job for me with a guy in our ward, Brother Huff. Remember Brother Huff? Brother Huff was an auto mechanic. He was kind of an older guy. He only had one leg, and he had his garage there at his house, and he needed help with his yard and stuff like that. He asked me if I'd come work for him one week during the summer, and he'd pay me $1 an hour, and I thought, that's not very much, but okay, I'll do that. And it turns out I worked that week, and then he wanted me to work another week, and then he wanted me to work another week. Pretty soon he wanted me to work the whole summer, every day from 8 to 5. And to be honest with you, at 13, that's not the way I want to spend my summer, working for this guy every day, while my friends were swimming and playing baseball and all that. But Dad encouraged me to work there. He wanted me to help this brother. And matter of fact, this brother asked me, one of the jobs he wanted me to do was to paint his house. So my dad encouraged me not to quit the job. He wanted me to finish it. He taught me when you start a job, to finish it. And so I worked all summer, scraped the guy's house. I painted it and got it all done. And I helped him with his garden and worked in his shop a little bit. And I learned a lot from that. I learned to not quit. I learned that when you start a job, you finish it and you work hard. And I felt very proud of that. I felt like when I got the house done, that I did it. I did something good. And even though I didn't get to goof off all summer like my friends were, I learned a valuable lesson from that. And I appreciate you encouraging me to do that. I worked with Dad too, some summers, and I learned how hard you work. You work very hard and learned a lot from you. One of the other things I learned from my dad is how to serve other people. I know when I was 14, 15, 16, I used to go home teaching with my dad. And to be honest, a lot of times I did not feel like going home teaching. We used to home teach a single lady who was an elderly lady who lived in a nursing home. She was disabled, and there were times I just didn't feel like going home teaching. But Dad always told me, got me to go with him, and when we went in to see her, her face just lighted up, and she was so happy that we came to visit her. And I learned to serve other people. And I appreciate you teaching me that too, Dad. I'm proud of my mom and dad for going on their mission. I was so impressed when they said they were going to put in their mission papers. I knew they always wanted to serve a mission, but they said they weren't going to specify where they wanted to go on their mission. They were just going to go wherever the Lord called them to go. And I was impressed with that. And then they got their call to go to the Philippines. And I gotta be honest, I was surprised. I thought you would get a call to go to Utah or somewhere like that, where you work in the temple or something. But the Philippines, I thought that might have been a mistake, actually. but you guys did a great job. You went over there, and the letters we read from your mission president and those that you served with, and all the pictures and the letters from the people you worked with. I know you did a
lot of service to the people in the Philippines, and I know you learned a lot, and you grew a lot from that experience, and I'm proud of you for that. You set a good example for all of my kids and all of the rest of your family for serving. I want to say something about my mom too. It's not your birthday. I mentioned this last night. We were at our house, at Lorna's house, visiting with my mom and dad, and I'm so proud of my mom. My mom and dad. Sorry. We lived just a couple of houses away from the school, and every day, not every day, but several days a week, when I was in elementary school, I used to love to walk home and eat lunch with my mom. Sorry. She was always there, and it just felt good to have you there. I love you. And Dad, I love you too. And I wish you a happy birthday. You're a good example to all of us. And love you all.
Let me say this. All of you, when you retire, go on like we did. Do it.
Son, it's nice to see everyone come and, like my brother said, celebrate my dad's birthday and see all our family here and friends. And, I'm going to be brief. I'll get real emotional. I have my mother. Was memories I have of my mother. I can't remember a time when I needed her and she wasn't there. Like Todd said, she was always there for us. Always had a smile on her face, never had a crossword for us, always had encouragement for us. And that's something I'll never forget, and always supported us in the things we did, and never gave up on us in times of trouble, and had a wonderful spirit, and still has a wonderful spirit. It's a wonderful example for me, and loves our Heavenly Father more than anything. That's something that I thank you for, Mom. My father was and is a great man. A lot of things my brother said I have to agree with. My dad was a very, very hard worker. And I was talking to my wife today. One of the things that I can really remember was being a little child and sitting in church and playing with my dad's fingers. And it's just something that I'll never forget as long as I live. They were rough, they were big, and I enjoyed sitting in sacrament meeting and playing with my dad's fingers. And there was cut up and beat up, and I just sit there and play with it, and I never forget that. I also love to hear the stories that Mom and Dad had to tell us about when they were young, and they always supported us in sports. I don't think they ever missed one of our games. But I guess I just want to say I love you with all my heart, Mom and Dad. And what a joy it is to be your son. And mom and dad. And proud of you, proud of the things you accomplished. And another thing is, for us 5 children, they would give the shirt off their back so we could have what we needed. And I'll never forget that. And just one thing I'd like to
I remember playing with my dad's fingers in church too. Some of the memories that I can think of that I loved as a child was my dad. We always said this, but he was such a hard worker, and he worked harder than anybody that I've ever met. And he'd always leave for work before we ever woke up. And I remember he'd always call at lunchtime and call my mom. And when I was home before school, I was old enough to go to school. The phone rang at lunchtime. We knew it was Dad, and we wanted to go and answer the phone and talk to him for a few minutes. And that was a great comfort to me, to know that he was calling just to check on us to make sure we were okay. And one of my favorite memories of my mom is it seems like for my sister and I that my mom was one of our very best friends, even when we were teenagers. And I remember going into the mall with her and not being embarrassed to be with our mom, but we wanted to be with her. And going shopping, she was always willing to go places with us. The other thing about my mom is I don't think that I've ever met anybody who has more faith than my mom. It doesn't matter what kind of problem you may have, she can always keep a bright side to it, give you encouragement that you can make it through because there's a purpose for this problem or trial. She just has so much faith, and it's a great blessing to me to have her help me, and especially now that she lives so close. And it's wonderful to be able to go and talk with her and to have her cheerful attitude. And I'm just so thankful for this. I'm thankful that they went on a mission. That was just another good example of what hard workers they are, and to think of how far away they went and the things that they had to do to prepare for that and to go, and they had so much faith. And I remember putting them on the airplane and just not knowing if they were going to make it to the Philippines. I was so worried. But they weren't, because they knew that they were going to be okay. And they loved me.
Wow.
Sorry. My name is Carol, and I'm the youngest. Now I'm having a hard time remembering the memories that I had. But I also remember playing with my dad's fingers. And I remember coming home from school at lunchtime and eating tomato soup with my mom. And I remember that anytime there was a kid on the block who was sick, the mom would call my mom to see if that kid could stay with my mom during the day while the mom went to work. My mom was the one who was always there, always dependable, always available for other people's children as well as her own. And I remember that she was always there whenever there was a class party. She was the room mother. She was the one who brought the cookies and the cupcakes and whatever. And she was the one who brought the new puppies to school whenever we had show and tell. And I remember one of the things that I remembered a lot about my dad was that every Sunday, and this was when I was a little girl, every Sunday we would come home and my dad would sit in the green chair and I would sit on his lap and tell him what I did in Sunday school that day. And he would ask about my lesson and
I was able to tell him what it was. What else was I thinking? Oh, I remember that anytime any of us had a question about the gospel or about, the church, my dad had the answer for it. He knew, and probably still does, know the answer to just about anything. And one of the things more recently, when they went on their mission, my son Isaac was born, and he was about 5 months old when they came home. And this is going to sound really dumb, but he didn't really like a lot of people. He liked me, and he liked David. But he cried whenever anybody else came close to him or tried to hold him. He didn't want to be with anybody except me or David. The first time he saw my parents, he went immediately to them, and he had them with. He loves to be with them. He loves to look at pictures of them. He loves to see them and play with them. But I'll never forget that. They were the first people that he ever went to willingly and happily, besides David at Lumby. And as you've been able to see, he's still very like me. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks.
I'm so very thankful to Kelly and my family, everyone. I'm grateful. The things that we love in life are the things that we need to know. That makes sense. The things that we go through and the things that we learn are best good if we lead them in the right way. And I'm grateful. Now, like Jay said, when we got our mission call to the Philippines, I don't know who's more surprised, us, them, or Michelle, you were there. I could have said, no way, that's not right. But read it again. She read it and I could have said. But that was the most wonderful place we could have gone. The people there, they tell us, first of all, they come to say, how many children do you have? And I said, we've got 5. How many boys have come? We've got 3. How many girls? 2. Did they go on missions? Or did they, and mentioned a question that we was able to answer for them. And they say, you are so lucky to come from America. You have all the things that you have. We want to come back when we come back, and I said, well, it's very hard. I don't care if you have the opportunity that we have. And so my thought today is the opportunity that we have as for us to use if we take the opportunity. My Heavenly Father gives us so much. And it is very little to return, just a little bit of what He's done for us. And I'm grateful for my family. I am thankful to enjoy them. You know, we don't see them very much, but they're wonderful. My family is part of them. I'm grateful.
I'm going to take you 1 minute. Oh. 1 minute. Go. Well, I want to say I thank all of you for coming. You know, you didn't meet a good time that you're a part of. We all named it. We all, one thing, remember that. We all have the same Heavenly Father. So we're one family. I don't want to speak very much tonight. I want to talk to each one of you individually. And tell you my feelings, my testimony. I would love that opportunity, one-on-one, to tell you what I want to tell you. Genealogy work is the most important thing for us to do. We have the gospel here. They got the gospel over there. They know more than we do. Be honest now. They know more over there than we do. They're getting themselves ready for us to do our genealogy at work with them. It's very important. Now, I have a lot of genealogy and I want to work with you. I hope you'll take me up on it. Thanks for coming. God bless you. God loves you. God waiting for us to make that move. Again, I want to tell you, after you have your children, get them on the road, teach them all you can, get them on the road. And when you get ready to retire, don't retire. Go on a mission. That's the best thing you can do. They're waiting out there. They need more missionaries. They're waiting very hard. The missionary needs help. I have one grandson in the Philippine mission. And he said they do need more missionary couples. Well, I hope and I thank Heavenly Father will bless you for coming. You will go home safely without any problem, any trouble. You will always remember who you are and what you are. I love to tell my wife when she goes someplace. Now remember, you be good and don't be naughty. Remember who you are. But you tell her that. And that's where I want to be. I pray Heavenly Father will love you and God bless you with all that you desire to have. All it takes, but towards the effort, He'll help you. It'll be done. He'll strengthen you. He'll send you on the mission if you desire to go. Brother Mitchell, I love you. Thanks for coming. I say in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
I was different than anybody else. I didn't want to be a fireman, policeman. I wanted to be the heavyweight champion in the world. So I used to go around with a pair of boxing gloves on and fight any kid that pushed across something. War was ever there, he'd just pick me up one arm, take me home, say, you're not supposed to do that. We was living in Spring Glen. Of course, it was during the Depression. Mom and Dad had 5 kids. Whole line wasn't hardly working. He knew I wanted a pair of ice skates. So he surprised me. He lended me out a pair of wooden ones. I wanted to try skating on wooden ice skates. It almost ruined me. About killed me. You don't even go 2 feet, you get in a place and you just flop. But later on, when I was in the 8th and 9th grade, Uncle Ralph and Dad, out in 9 Mile, got born out to go out there to grub greasewood and dig posts, put a fence along. They paid $1 a day, they lived in a tent out there. week he had to put the wire on Laura and I dig a hole. He would dig about 3 holes and I grab the brush. He used to hug me and say, oh, don't worry, Margaret, we'll get it done. We ran out of food one time up there. We had 1 can of working beans. So we counted them, so we went choo I know when Bart got out of high school, went to work at the coke gun on Sunday side, which is the hardest work in the world if you really think about it. I had the paper route. I had to walk it, I didn't have the bucket. First day he died, he went about 5 seconds. That's kind of a brother you did. I love you more.
They said happy birthday to Van. We fixed it.
Grandpa gets the first
Yes, I am having a one size chocolate. I need a.
Mom,
I'm gonna need a Kleenex.
Can
or a
I
napkin.
can I give Grandpa his cake?
Well, we gotta decide if he wants chocolate or vanilla.
Should we cut some of them on the table?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut some.